This is the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 2, and in this video I'm going to give you the lowdown on where the shoe sits within the Puma range, what the product tech specs are, and ultimately what I think of it on foot. The Deviate Nitro Elite 2 forms part of Puma's carbon fiber plated racing family. There's 3 shoes within the family, and it's built to be the most commercial out of the lot, built to compete against the likes of the Vaporfly, Adios Pro, and Endorphin Pro. Siblings within its carbon fiber plated range include the Farstar Nitro Elite 2, which is a more substantial cushioned shoe, and it has a more aggressive shaped geometry and carbon fiber plate, so it offers a more aggressive rocker to it. And this is built to compete against the likes of the Ultrafly and Endorphin Elite. And then there's the really unique Fast Forward Nitro Elite, which is a 5 to 10k race day shoe with a unique 4-foot rocker. It's built to compete against the likes of the Streakfly and Takumi Sen. The Deviate Nitro Elite 2 also has a sibling, a training equivalent known as just the Deviate Nitro 2. It's a non-aggressive racer trainer, so it doesn't have a carbon fiber plate, but it's got a carbon composite plate and design features that make it more conducive for everyday training with the option of using it as a speed shoe. So it's the perfect racer trainer. It's built to contend against the likes of a Endorphin Speed by Saucony. But what's interesting is that the Deviate Nitro 2 was in fact believed by many to be one of the best shoes to come out of the year 2023, which is really epic to hear. But of course we're talking about the Elite, the shoe that was made famous by Molly Seidel after she got a bronze medal in the Tokyo Olympics wearing a pair of the original versions, which really put the shoe on the map and was perfectly timed as Puma were re-establishing themselves as a formidable competitor and force within the running scene, and have just evolved since. So let's zoom in on the product's design and tech specs, starting out at the midsole. We've got a stack out of 36mm at the heel, while 28mm at the forefoot, giving the shoe a 8mm heel to toe drop. It's not quite maxed out at 40mm like the Farstar 2 is, so it's got a little bit more of a traditional underfoot feel. But then of course you've got the super foam that we're going to talk about in a sec, and a full-length carbon fiber plate that you can see through the midsole gap there that is noticeable underfoot and nice and rigid. In comparison to the Farstar 2, it's not as curved or as exaggerated, so it's got a little bit more of a traditional racing flat element to the super shoe. The midsole material used is Puma's breakthrough Nitro Elite foam, which is a PEBA-based foam. It's been modified slightly to be a bit firmer than the previous version. The process of forming this foam is quite interesting. It starts out as a block of raw material about the size of your palm, and then goes through various processes such as an autoclave, which is a supercritical chamber where this PEBA-based foam gets exposed to supercritical nitrogen, which brings out special properties and helps expand the foam, and then it gets compression molded to refine shape and gain all these geometric lines that the brand are looking for. But there's extra steps with nitrogen exposure and obviously supercritical nitrogen, which has special properties that allow you to blend the foam to your liking. The outsole of the shoe is arguably the best out there. It's got a very generous coverage for super shoe standards. It's also got a very grippy orientation with reputable Puma grip rubber. The key selling points are that this adds a generous durability to a super shoe. It also allows you to use this super shoe in wet conditions and just get a little bit more stick and grip, especially as you take those tight corners, and also offers versatility to the surfaces you're running on, whether it's light grass or even if you really need to light rubble. The upper of the shoe follows a common theme we've seen in this entire shoe, and that there's durability features. We've got a typical parachute racing upper on the shoe like we have in most racing shoes. It's breathable, it's lightweight, but this is quite strong and quite coarse in a good way. And it's also got a technology Puma called Power Tape, which is a reinforced inside taping of the upper that just adds to the shoe's durability and strength. This whole upper fits with a less voluminous fit above the toes, just so that you've got a sock-like fit. It runs true to size and length. It's relatively generous in width. It's not a wide fit, it's not a narrow fit, but it's relatively generous, so should accommodate a variety of foot shapes. The Deviate Nitro Elite 2 is one of the few super shoes that has a structured and padded heel counter to it, which plays into the points of comfort. The key selling point here is that if you do struggle with blistering or any discomfort at the heel, this offers a really good alternative that is padded and a little bit more traditional. It also has a little bit of structure to it, so if you do have stability issues in racing shoes and need a little bit more stability or structure from the rear end of the shoe, then this is a good option and good feature to the super shoe. Now that brings me to my thoughts on the shoe. Some reviewers have called this their top racing shoe of the year, as it blends comfort, durability and speed. While other reviewers have said that the shoe's great, they just wish it was a little bit more aggressive with that 40mm stack height and a little bit more of aggressive forefoot, while all the other ingredients of the shoe are fantastic. Now both opinions are right. The Deviate Nitro Elite 2 offers some key points of difference. It's highly durable, it's very grippy and it's very comfortable. Before we even consider its key point of difference being its midsole foam, which uses a Puma-based foam that's been blended with supercritical nitrogen that Puma have opted for speed and quality advantage. I think it will perform well on various environments and distances, and uniquely I think the shoe unintentionally will be great on cross-country courses as well as track. With less of a noticeable rocker compared with other shoes, the Deviate Nitro Elite 2 is best for 5 to 10k distances for my personal running, or of course speed work or intervals or tempo runs. I found it to be really conducive if you're looking to step up your cadence a notch. But for longer distances, I have a bias towards rocketed and aggressively rocketed shoes that really throw you forward. And I found it to be a bit of a cheat code in my biomechanics. Maybe it's because my lazy hips or glutes or lack of hip extension, where just that rocker helps throw me forward a little bit, which is why I'm especially looking to try out the Puma Fast-On Nitro Elite 2. On the contrary, you could be the exact opposite to me. You could be craving a super shoe with a supercritical foam and a carbon fiber plate of the highest quality, and just want something a little less aggressive, that's a little less altering of your biomechanics, such as an aggressive shoe. Something that allows you to really follow your own biomechanics. It's not throwing you forward as much, but it's got all the ingredients to sort of keep your stride natural while offering you the best bounce back. And I think this runner who's looking for something a little bit more traditional with the high quality ingredients will find best use in the Deviate Nitro Elite 2.